Hey, good morning, my friends. Today I want to talk about the simplest thing. Well, it should be the simplest thing to make. While cutting my logs, I wanted to make a couple of cubes so I could biggest problem that I came up with was actually getting everything to be perfectly square. You get one side square, you go to the next one, and it's not there. So anyway, making a cube has become a task that I realize I'm probably not capable of doing. So anyway, with this cube, what I'm going to be doing is making a small, I think, hollow vessel, but I want the end grain to be on the outside. So I'm going to mount it on the lathe. I'm going to find more or less the center of this area, mount it here in my worm screw, put it in between centers, and start hollowing something up. Let's get to it. I'm going to mark the centers, and they're not going to be 100% true because the cube is not true to start off with, but it will give me a pretty good start on this. So we'll go with that as a center point. I'm going to use this spur drive that I have. Give it a little tap to get it started. Bring my tailstock in. And apply a little bit of pressure. Lock my headstock in and be turning it while applying pressure. And you don't need to put a lot of pressure on your tailstock, just enough. One thing I wanted to orient was the core to be towards the top, and I didn't think of that before I started putting that worm screw in. So let me see how that's going to be. Well, it's going to be on the bottom, so that's fine for me. For some reason it's showing off a little bit off center on this side, and so, you know, on this side it looks like I wanted to flip it that way, but on this side it's fine. So I'm gonna go with that. And my goal will be to start creating the shape that I want on this, and I'm thinking of making it well, a little bit like a long-necked bottle shape. That's what I'm thinking on this one. So I will come out, this will be the top, make a little shape, something like this. And the base right here. I'll do an inside tenon on this one. I have a problem doing an inside tenon with this type of a setup, because that, to go in there, that means that I would have to remove my tailstock, and that's not strong enough to really hold me up without being in between centers. That's the only way I use that worm screw. When I'm faced with that, I'm normally forced to go with an outside tenon and grab it that way. But even when I do that, when I flip it, I can finalize this edge, or I can go take it out completely. Got a little bit abused. So before I even start doing any of this, I'm going to sharpen it up. Now, a sharp tool could mean the difference between success and the fail on your turning. So I'm going to start from this back side where my tenon is going to be and slowly work this out so I don't get too aggressive on the two ends on this.
Well, let's see how we look. It's an okay shape. I think I should have gone the opposite way, but that's what I did. So, when you make these decisions, you make it, and once they're done, you have to commit to them. Because really, at this point, no taking back. So you make the best best that you can with the way you have things. I'm gonna take my force a bit, put it in there, and pour that out. Now that the mouth in there is open, I'm going to go with my slightly larger tool, which is a little bit bulkier, see if I can clean up the inside side. Well, I got the vase done. Got a decent shine on there. So the only thing I really have to do is take it off the chuck and finish off the bottom. It's got a really nice finish. The design is not bad. I find this to be an appealing look. It's not too bad inside. I got a couple of small ridges in there that I can't get rid of. But overall, I think it looks really good, and it definitely has one of the better finishes that I've applied. On this one I got about 6 coats of the shine juice. I sanded it a couple of times with 400 in between coats, and I think it's got a nice deep shine on it. Can't see in there, but it's not too bad. The bottom is really smooth. The ridges I got are kind of in on this top section over here. This top section over here. My tool has a hard time cutting on the back end over here. But once I do the transition from here down and the base, it's nice and smooth. Well, it's a cute little vase. So on this one, what I gotta do here is finish off the bottom. So the way I'm gonna do this one is I'm gonna protect that lip with some tape. Just wrap up a couple of times in there, and put it on my jaws with very light pressure. Put it in between centers, and just very lightly cut off the bulk of that tenon. Then finish it off on my drill press as usual. Now, if you don't have a drill press, you can do that with your disc on your drill, and very lightly go in there. But the drill press, I go in flat, and it gives me a nice finish. So, clamp it down just a little bit. Bring my tailstock in, and make sure that I'm still true with the piece. And it sure is. I'm gonna go in there with a small, like 1/4 inch little gouge. Then I'll finish the very bottom. Get in there a little bit closer with my parting tool. As deep as I can go with this. Grab the parting tool, go in there. And get all the way up to my pin on my light center. Very, very light pressure. Actually, the way I got this one set up, I'll be able to finish up the whole base on the lathe. do a burning on this. Now, since it's rough from the roto zip, fluffy, I'm going to see if I can highlight that with the iron as well. But it's in there, it's signed. Here's the finished vase. It's got a little knot with a dark spot in there. Not the most attractive feature to it, but it looks good.